Hey everybody, it's your Casual Dad back with another Civ 7 explainer video. This time we are going over your economic legacy path and victory conditions for this beautiful game of Civilization 7. And as we get into it, leave a like for this deep dive, leave an emoji, let me know how you feel about Civ 7 in either case. Also, drop me a sub as I'm trying to hit 5,000 subs by the end of June for my birthday. A great birthday present. It's free for you. It helps me out a lot. I would appreciate that. But I don't want to dilly-dally too much. Let's get into what you want. You want to know how can I maximize my economic legacy path and make it easier. That's what we're here for. So again, don't forget you can track your progress, but it only does the next step, and then you got to track the next one as you get going. Now, there's a few different ways you can do Silk Roads. This is the Antiquity age, as you can see, is where we're starting, which makes sense. So Silk Roads is what it's called. You have to assign 20 resources to your settlement. So you got a really good spawn. You can get 20 resources without having to trade. You can get 20 resources by just growing. You get 20 resources by conquering. But the easiest way is to get it by a combination of that and trading. Well, to get trading, you have to come in here to your civics and you have to unlock Code of Laws. It gives you your trader. Well, I'm in this as Amina is called the Watanabe because I'm playing as Mississippi. But your trader is found here. And that is what you will be using to create your trade routes to get your economic boosts. And you have it pretty evenly spread out, your boosts. And so that's what you're going for. Now it says assign, so just like relics, you have to have the slots open and then manually move them over. They will automatically go into slots if they're open when you found a city or you grow from a city to it. Towns, if you grow to the resources that are only available for cities, you cannot put them in the town, so they just stay to the side. You have to manually move that over. Trading does not automatically put stuff in the city. You've got to move those over. They always give you notifications. Don't worry about forgetting about it. They will let you know. You can open up the screen and decide what you want to do. But they do have to be assigned, which means when you're sending out traders, if you send it to somebody that has 3 resources, but it is, let's say, is wine, gold, and silver. Well, those are great resources to have, but those are empire-wide resources. They don't count. You can't assign them. So keep that in mind. That may be tripping some people up. They're like, well, why am I not getting it? It's because you're getting empire-wide resources, and you're not trading for the ones that you can assign. I tend to prioritize my trade routes in who has the most resources per trade. That gives you more gold if you set it up right, and then which ones can I slot first. So I'm always looking for camels, because camels will let me have more slots without having more buildings, and so that I can reach this faster. It's really that simple, because this is probably, I mean, they're all relatively simple, but this and culture are the easiest. Culture, you're just building wonders, and this is just grabbing resources. Get 20 of them, okay? And that's pretty much it. So we're gonna just go ahead and jump to the Golden Ages and Dark Ages, because there's not much to say. Get Code of Laws, get your trade routes going, and expand your cities like you would anyone, like always. And you're gonna want those resources anyways, because like they're better than a lot of tiles that you're gonna pick. So make sure you're picking up those resources that help you slot in and fix and accomplish this. Those other ones can wait till later, or wait till you get a good feel for the game, that you're not worried you're going to not get the Golden Age or even get a Dark Age. Don't worry about when you don't worry about that anymore, then you can not always focus on the ones that are assignable first. But in the beginning, do that. Focus on the assignables, and then get all the other ones. So your Dark Age, Your naval commanders for Exploration Age get a charge to create a new settlement for every 2 levels earned. But that's kind of like Rome's ability for their army commanders. Every 3 levels they can throw down a settlement. But settlers cost 100% more. Well, that's honestly, depending on what spot you're in, especially if you're doing like a big military campaign where like you're not really trading with people because they're all mad at you. There's a chance you may not get to this or not get to it easily. And this is where this in military is where I don't like the way the system is. Because, for example, if you get to this and then you lose a city and you no longer have this slotted, it still counts, even though you may not have this slotted. Same thing for military. You can have so many cities and then you lose 1 or 2 and it bumps down. It still counts as if you complete this and you have it. I understand the age progression, you can't take age progression back, but it should not count as you having this. Like wherever you're at the end of the age is where it should count. Just a little pet peeve of mine, but whatever. This can be really good, especially military stuff, or if you're on some kind of like fractal islands map and it's just really hard to find resources for some reason, or you just want to try this out because you are doing like a naval campaign. Like I've thought about this recently for a pirate campaign where I intentionally will go for a dark age economically, just so I can have my naval commanders out destroying people. And then, because it's all islands across the map, I don't want to have to train a settler, send them out, and then let him wait to get to where he's going to settle. I'd rather just have my pirate commanders, basically at that point, going around destroying people, getting levels, and dropping settlements down. That's what I'd rather do. So there are cases where this is a good thing. Your golden age is really nice. This is, I think, an appropriately balanced, of all of the 4, I think this is appropriately balanced golden age versus dark age. Science, I think, is fairly obvious. You should do the golden age. The military one, like, honestly, the golden age is not worth a whole lot compared to the dark age. This one's very balanced, very, very balanced. Because if you get the golden age, all your cities from the previous age remain cities. And with the new nerfs, because now it costs more to promote your cities. If you're having a banger of an Antiquity game and you've got 6 of your 9 cities, or settlements to cities, or 5 even, like that's a lot of gold in the next age. Just what I'll do, if I know I have this secured, I have some extra gold lying around, I know it will be more expensive in the next age. At the end of the age, I'll just go spend a bunch of gold and upgrade my cities. Even though they don't have a lot of buildings, that's fine, because I know I'm picking this anyways. And then I can go into the next age with like 8 cities, and they can just crank away, and it just takes you up and out. This is definitely your path to, once you are ahead, to staying ahead. Is just keep your cities and keep grinding away. Very easy to get this, very strong to get this. And so that's it for the Antiquity Age. We're moving right along to the Exploration Age. And here we are back with the Exploration Age economic legacy path. It's fairly straightforward. You just need treasure fleets. You need 30 of those points. I do feel like they have nerfed this a good amount with their different changes between increasing the AI ability and food, and then especially the resource distribution. We'll show that in just a little bit. But it's pretty easy. What you got to do is you've got to research cartography and astronomy so you can get out and across the ocean, even if you're taking damage, and get some settlers out faster. That's why I need to work on personally is getting my settlers out faster to grab these spots faster, instead of just working on building up my empire. Maybe spend some gold on settlers, something to get the settlers out faster to get some settlements down and get these points coming in. Because this game I actually ended up with a dark age, which made me very sad. I wanted the free cities that you get with the golden age, but we'll talk about that in a second. So what do I mean by some of the difficulties, and how do we get a treasure fleet return? So treasure fleet will spawn. We have one spawned up here. So here we go. A treasure fleet is spawned up here. You've got to get it back inside your home island city border, and then you can click a button, gives you a point and some gold. But you know, it's got to travel a long way, so the best thing to do, I don't know why this keeps doing it, if I own this city, man, 5 turns, be there. But it's also taking a while, so if you look in your resource screen, it will tell you how many turns left for your treasure fleet and which islands do treasure fleet. The sad thing is, I'm going to double check this, but I'm pretty sure increasing your production used to make it go faster, okay? But it doesn't anymore. And so you may be wondering, how do I know what is a treasure resource and what isn't? So let's look at this island right here. We have the pearls and the jade. Obviously, that is a city resource. You have fish, with just a bonus resource, can go anywhere. And then you have your cocoa. You see this little wavy line? That means it is a treasure fleet resource. It needs to have that, and it has to say distant lands, wherever you're at, to be able to get it back. And so then what you have to do is you have to make a fishing key and actually be working the tile of the resource to generate that fleet to send back. And they did change it. It's nice where it does give you bonuses. You know, it's empire-wide bonuses now. The problem is, like on Continents Plus, which is I think my favorite map to play, these islands here, if you look on the mini-map, they don't have but one resource, if that. I come down here, no resource. One resource. No resource. And this little tiny dinky thing has one resource. And so it used to be easier because you have 2 resources and then your production made them come out faster. Like, either let production make them come out faster or give us more resources back. And then the AI, they like to hug the coast. I've completed this game, so I know all along the coast you have Ibn Battuta, Pachacuti, and Himiko, with the middle of the map wide, thinking open. There's nothing here, and there's nothing in this upper corner. And so you want to come in and try and get some resources. Well, there's not really any resources even on the edge. All right, over here there is this sugar and this forest. So I would have to come in, kill this city, let it raise, move the city center over so I could reach both of those. It is very difficult now to get the golden age for the economics. So you have to be careful. Even on the other side, there's not a whole lot right here on the coast ready to just pop over. And so it's very difficult. So the strategy would be buy some settlers, get some settlers real quick after you've gotten your... I still say the best thing is get your reliquaries as soon as possible, and then get settlers out and start, you know, having your cogs and your settlers explore and find places to put down. Like, I found this island, nothing. Found this island, I skipped it because I'm like, there's nothing. I found this island, I immediately settled it as soon as I could. I came over here, he already had his city, I couldn't put it down to get close to that. And so it's just a hard game, this game, and maybe not all of them are like that, but so far they've all been like that for me, where good luck getting your resources. And then they take forever to get back. So that's what makes it difficult. And some thoughts about how to mitigate some of that difficulty. This was more of a peaceful playthrough, so I didn't want to go to war if I could help it. Even if I did go to war, I don't think it would have helped too much because of the resource allotment, but you know, sometimes that's just the way the game is. But now let's look at the Golden Age and Dark Age. Dark Age, you get 100% production and gold towards rail stations and ports, and +1 resource slot in all settlements, but minus 25% culture. A resource slot per settlement can be very nice. It would have been nice here if I hadn't had a goal of getting as high of a culture as possible, because I was running out of resource slots, didn't know where to put all my resources. So that would be very helpful. And then, of course, the rail stations and the ports to get my factories up and going a little bit faster. I mean, I'm making so much gold I don't really care this game, but in other games it would matter a lot. And then, of course, the Golden Age, which is lovely, is all your cities stay cities, and then your distant land cities get 2 pop. And so you combine that with your military, you get a lot of conquering done in the distant lands. You're going to have a lot of pop. You're going to have a lot of infantry and range units. You're going to be set up to destroy in the modern age. Plus, if you do the Golden Age from each age, they're nerfed to the cost of... They made the cost of converting cities more, just baseline. Well, you spend all that cost ahead of time in the Antiquity Age, and you just keep using this Golden Age, because right now I don't know that I like any of the other Golden Ages enough to pick it over this one. Just because you're starting off so ahead. Like, you can go ahead and start cranking things out. So, like, in the Exploration Age, instead of having 1 or 2 cities having to do stuff, you can have 5, 6 cities cranking things out, you know, helping doing your culture research to get your piety done faster, or a few of them doing that, and then a few of them doing settlers to get them out and exploring faster. Like, it's just better to have more cities. And so that's why these Golden Ages to me are just always gonna be the ones I pick. But yeah, you just keep doing that until you get 30 treasure fleet points. Unfortunately, you know, if it's 8 turns, you know, you're gonna need like 5 of them. So then you only need 6 from each settlement. Well, 6 times 8 is still 48. So yeah, that's still a good time to go. And if you delay too much, like I did, like, you're not gonna have 48 turns or more, because it's not even, that's just to produce them, because then you probably have 8 to 10 turns to get that last one back to home base. You know, so you're looking at 60 turns to complete this, and if you're not on top of it, you can not even get the first point, like what happened to me. But make sure you plan on this, and you plan well, and you focus on it. Otherwise, you can be in some trouble real quick. Alright, enough of that. Let's move on to the modern age. Alright, here we are in the modern age, talking about the economic legacy path. Here, as you saw last age, it can be a little difficult to get your golden age. But now we just have to worry about hitting our golden age, and then we get a world banker to set up the world bank, and we win the game. It seems a little straightforward, but it can be kind of confusing. We now have 500 railroad tycoon points for manufactured goods that you earn each turn to progress along the way. And there's been talk about actually increasing this to 1,000. But one difference is between the other ones is your boost to the Great Banker establishing the World Bank office is only reduced by 5% per legacy point instead of 10% like everybody else, because quite frankly it is a little bit easier than the other ones. And so make sure you're following these steps. I'll go through what you have to do, but these steps with tracking your progress for each step and then tracking the next step, it will make it very easy for you. So we come in here to look at our tech tree. What we have to do is we have to get a mass production. You see the factory there? That's where you've got to get to, and then you just set it up. So you come in here and you have to hit steam engine and military science for combustion and industrialization. I would suggest focusing industrialization first to get the rail station, because you have to have the rail station in the factory to then have you have to have the factory in the where you have your rail station. So you have to build that first. So start there, then go to combustion, and then mass production to get your factory. And so I don't think I have it set up in this game, but basically what it would be is there would be a notification over here about like a resource, and then you pick a factory resource and you plug it in. You take all these resources out and you plug in your factory resource. Your factory resources do different things. Like citrus gives production towards training naval units, and that's 5% per orange. Or cotton, for example, 5% production towards training land units. Or culture, or HP, or science, or growth rate. So it just depends on what it is. You can trade for these. You can own these directly. It doesn't matter how you get them. You plug them in, and so then, for instance, if I have 3 oranges, and then I have all my cotton, which is 8 cotton, that means that's a total of 11. That means I'm getting 11 points per turn. Right? So 11 points, that's daggone 50 turns or so to get to the golden age, and then I've got to do the other stuff. Right? So if you want to go faster, you've got to buy and build more rail stations and more factories, and then put more resources in there, trade for more resources, open up more slots to put more resources in, and it's good to go. And again, your production doesn't matter once your railroad and your factory's been built. So if you have low production cities, or if you upgrade a town to be a city because you need the space, just go ahead and buy it. Your high production cities just need to build it, and your low production ones you need to buy it in, because once you have your factory up and running, it doesn't matter what your production is. It's just however many slots you have that are filled with resources, that's how many points you're making per turn. So you just go through and you fill this up, and then you unlock the World Banker. And the World Banker is kind of like from Civ 6, a great person that can teleport around. And so we're just going to pretend that my army commander is a great banker. He does pull us a screen similar to this. But then if I go over to Frederick, it would highlight Berlin, its capital, because I have not been there yet. I can click to move there. Next turn he moves there, and then I can spin a combination. Now this is what can be confusing. All right, if you because it doesn't really tell you. Also, you need a port for cities that are on the distant lands. I almost forgot about that. They don't tell you, but to create the World Bank, I mean, it told us that, but I don't think it does. You have to spend gold and influence, not just one. You have to spend gold and influence. So if your influence is not great, it's going to take a while, because each person that you do, the cost of gold and influence goes up. So I've got to go from Berlin, Paris, to I guess Kathmandu's his capital, and then to everybody's capital, spending gold and influence on every capital. And then once I get the last one done, then huzzah, I won an economic victory. I've started the World Bank. Game over. But you do have some reduction. The more that you have completed, it makes it cheaper. This one, I think, is the one that people might notice the difference of legacy points and the discounts the most, just because of how expensive it can be. Versus the other ones, if you have good production and good gold, you're not really noticing that too much on any of the other legacy paths to complete. But this one, production doesn't matter. It's literally how fast can you get the gold, and how fast can you get the Diplo. And you may have hit golden ages, but for whatever reason, your gold per turn and Diplo per turn is still pretty low. It's going to be hard for you to beat somebody that has high gold, high diplo, but maybe only got a few legacy points the whole game. So it starts off easy, the economic legacy path, but it definitely ends pretty hard if you're in any sort of contest with people. So make sure you are paying attention to that. Make sure you're stockpiling as much as possible when you're getting close to being able to start making your banker guy travel around the world. But that's going to wrap it up for the economic legacy path in victory condition. Is really straightforward the whole way. Not really complicated. I mean, exploration age gets a little complicated just because of the scarcity of your treasure fleet resources. But like I just said, you don't even really need golden age. You can have a dark age there and still come out on top here. It's just a whole bunch of different factors. So you're not shoehorned into one thing. So keep that in mind. Make sure you guys leave a like down below if you've liked this in-depth guide for your economic legacy path and victory condition. Drop me an emoji for engagement that tells me how you're feeling about winning an economic victory. And last of all, hit that sub button for my birthday gift you're giving me. It's free for you. Helps me out a ton. I appreciate it. This has been Casual Dad Plays, and I've been doing an in-depth guide for your economic legacy path on Civ 7. I love you guys. I appreciate you, and I'll see you next time. Bye-bye.